See, now I really believe in like spirit stuff because that just was weird. That's all the way weird. I mean,
Yeah.
I have some space on my phone.
Are you sure?
I wouldn't bet the farm on it.
I might want to check because
Okay.
like you recorded at least 2 videos on.
Oh
there.
yeah, and I haven't done.
And like, if you didn't delete them, I mean, if you didn't take them off and delete them, then
yeah, I probably should.
But I mean, who knows? It's recording right now, so who
It's
knows
still
what will
recording?
happen? Yeah, I see 31, 32. All right, so we can continue whenever you're ready.
Okay.
This is like, whoa! I got so many questions.
I know, oh my God! This is so much. This is so heavy. Oh my God, I can't believe that. This is like, it so saddens my heart. Like seriously.
I feel like we need like that 10 minutes was like the intro. It's like now the real hunt begins.
Right. Like I want to contact Emily and get like a statement and everything, you know, because I'm actually covering this in the Chronicle. Oh. So I have something written up. I'd love you to look it over. It's just kind of basic, but I wanted to start it off basic, and because I'm doing 2 follow-ups.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a journalist.
That's
so
okay.
There's certain rules to journalism I'm not aware of.
Okay.
So I don't know what you can. I can critique the story by way of storytelling, but by way of formal journalistic rules.
No, I wouldn't want more of your input of like capturing the audience. That's a basic feedback of what you might include, because I have it structured in a way it's all fact. She has like all her stuff. Okay. Like all the stuff, all the reports. And so it's pure fact based, but it's, I just want to make sure I didn't overlook anything. But there are going to be 2 follow-ups, so I don't want to put everything in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, we're not even scratching the surface right now.
Yeah, like she says she wants to do, like she paid for like this whole thing, so she could possibly come back to the Sunday Chronicle. She's paid enough where I can do another show with her.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
did you see my post yesterday?
I didn't. What did it say?
I posted when the mom flagged down Livonia PD.
What is she? You posted the video?
Mm-hmm.
You got a video of that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord.
Well, they were wearing body cameras, so. But like, okay. If she flagged them down at 12:16.
Okay, well let me come back in. Okay.
I don't want to jump in right quick.
Okay.
I just wanna,
okay, go ahead.
If she flagged the PD at noon, and this supposedly happened at 7 or 8, there's so much I want to ask, but I don't know if I can. You know what? Start it up. Wow.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, just whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready. Welcome back to the Sunday Chronicle. This is Janice Jackson coming to you from Stax 92.1 FM. And before the break, we're talking to Miss Donnie Williams, or Danielle Williams, and she is telling us about the horrible tragedy of her son and his girlfriend being found in their Livonia home.
Both of them Detroit police officers.
Both of them are, they're deceased.
Well, true.
Both of them, oh my gosh, they're the Detroit police officers, and they were found dead in their Livonia home. Their 1-year-old son, still alive, but it was chalked up to a murder-suicide, but there's no formal investigation completed by the Livonia police. There are no autopsy.
They would say there was a formal investigation completed. Although what we call formal, what they call formal, those definitions pulling a lot of work.
Well, yeah, I just like, it baffles me that you would not do a full autopsy on both subjects. If you did one on the young lady and not to do one on the young man, it just doesn't seem equal to me. It seems like there's just no balance in that. So how can you chalk it up as a murder-suicide if there was not a full autopsy done on these? I'm just saying. I mean, I'm asking the questions, right?
Well, it's because they're cops. Like, if you're a police officer, you your word carries more weight than a natural American citizen. It carries more weight than even a politician's in some regard.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, that qualified immunity kind of, it stretches into the domain of your standard issue police officer where they have...
The amount of power is scary, right?
Yes.
The amount of power that some law enforcement officials have, it is sometimes scary, especially to the average citizen. And so there is this level of bias that I see that is just really unacceptable. And I'm just calling it a spade, right? Because it's really just unacceptable. And this is my opinion, and you know what they say about those. But I'm just saying, I'm going to say it, it's my show, that it just really seems like it just is not, it's just not a transparency. It's something is like rotten in the state of Denmark, as they say. It's just something, just looking at this, and this is not even scratching the surface. So tell me about some more behind this flag down of the, because you said you made a post, and what was something that you noticed in this when this
well, what was it a post of?
It's a post of the flagging down, so the body cam footage
of the girlfriend's mother flagging down the Livonia police.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and so what I noticed is that, you know, over time, the things that she was saying was not true. So for example, she said she arrived at their home and found Maria's keys and her purse in her car. And then when the Livonia police officer asked her, did she have a key to the house? And she changed her story to say that her keys were in her car, but all her keys were off her ring. Then she said that, you know, she had spoke to her at 7 a.m., but later in the Livonia police report, the detective had looked at her call log and she had spoken to Maria at 8:13.
Okay, and tell me about your son's articles, right? His credit cards and things like that. There's some foul play. What happened with his identity?
So someone stole my son's identity. When they died, Livonia police took his wallet and his phone, and didn't give them back to me until the investigation was complete, which was around May-ish, 23. I don't know the exact date. I'd have to look. But when I got it back and I started to handle some of my son's financial affairs, I noticed that someone had purchased roughly, it's like $1,500 worth of merchandise, like $1,000 worth of Lululemon.
Was this online purchases or in-store purchases?
So I think that they were online. His bank was very mum about it. They did not really want to help with the investigation, but the lawyer that I had who was over my guardianship case, she actually, you know, like threw me a bone and looked into it, and we found that someone had, by way of court order, the bank provided us with an online banking report of suspicious login activity that began on the day that my son died at 9:46 in the morning and continued every 6 hours from that point until.
So you said 9:46, right?
9:46.
When did the lady flag down the police car?
12:16 p.m.
So that was approximately 3 hours.
Prior to that.
Okay. When did she say she found the bodies?
Livonia police didn't enter my son's home until 12:43.
When did the lady say she came in again?
She said that she couldn't access the home, and that's another one of the discrepancies. She said the doors were locked, but Livonia police went right in. The door from the garage to the house was unlocked.
So you're sure she didn't try the garage door? Like, you know, sometimes, and I'm just covering all bases here. Maybe she tried the front door, the back patio, didn't think about the garage because those were locked.
No, when she flags them down, she tells police that she had opened the garage with Maria's garage door opener. Then she changed her story to say that she had opened the garage with my son's garage door opener. And she was very clear that both the doors were locked. They only had 2 doors to their home, the front door and the back door.
Now, did they find out, and I'm jumping back to the credit thing, who had the credit card or who made the purchases? Was that
they found out where the packages were delivered, and they found out whose internet bill had been paid using my son's debit card, and it was one of his neighbors. She lived 2 doors down. And the strange part about this is, like, her daughter died back in, like, 2015. She was shot, dismembered, set on fire.
Is she a person of color?
She is.
Okay. All right. Now, what did the Livonia Police Department follow up with the person that paid their credit card or paid their bill, their internet bill, with your son's credit card?
The East Lansing police did. That's where I live. I filed a report in East Lansing.
So in East Lansing, they followed up. When was the bill paid? The cable bill, the internet bill paid?
In March. All purchases and payments were made March. It was the week after I had my son's service.
So, identity was stolen. Purchases were made that day. Within a month, other things had happened in other places with this card. So the card was not canceled after the first set of fraudulent purchases?
I didn't get his card until May.
And once you got his card, did you go to the Livonia police or did you just go right to East Lansing?
I went right to East Lansing. I don't trust the Livonia police.
Right.
Okay. And
Wow.
with the lady that made the purchases, what happened with her?
So
or not the purchases, but the internet bill.
So it went to Ingham County prosecutor, and she was charged with unauthorized usage of a financial device, and then it was dismissed because they said, somebody else could have paid her internet bill and someone else could have had packages delivered to her house.
So they didn't they didn't investigate her too thoroughly at all then.
Well, according to the prosecutor, the detective that I work with East Lansing Police, he said that the service address and phone number comes back to her, and that he felt like that was enough of an investigation. So it goes back to him. He's actually still investigating so that we can send it back to Ingham County prosecutor to recharge, because they dismissed it with prejudice or without prejudice, whatever, to where you can
Without
retry
prejudice.
it. Yeah.
If it was with prejudice, then that's game over.
Yeah. So the detective is still working on it. He asked me for more information because not only did someone make purchases and pay their internet bill, they attempted to open lines of credit. They tried to hack into my son's IRS.gov account.
So
actually, a couple days.
And all this was done digitally. Like, none of this was done face to face.
I don't know. Like, Huntington didn't give us any of that information. Like I said, they were not willing to participate in any part of the investigation.
So, from your knowledge, is there any connection between the lady that paid her internet bill and had all these other things that was going on and she was doing the most, and the mother of the young lady that was found deceased? Is there any connection in your knowledge or no?
Not that I'm aware of.
Have you hired you had a PI.
I've hired several PIs.
Okay.
And what have they turned up?
Well, originally I hired a PI to investigate the other mother because we're fighting for guardianship of my grandson. That's still ongoing.
Wow.
And they found out that she has like 16 different aliases,
Oh my
2
God.
or 3 different social security numbers, 2 or 3 different birth dates.
Does she have a history of fraud and credit card fraud and those sorts of things, identity theft?
So I don't think that she has a criminal history.
Okay.
What my lawyer was able to obtain is like 63 pages worth of police runs to her house. Most of them are like violent offenses, like felonious assault, domestic assault, ceasefire, shot stopper or spotter, whatever that is. There was one report of a young lady bound in her basement being beaten and raped. But there was also a report from Maria reporting that someone had stolen her identity.
Maria, of course, is the girlfriend of your son.
That's correct.
Who also died.
That's correct.
So you have your son who was shot once, apparently point blank, killed.
Yes.
You have his girlfriend who was shot 14 times.
That's correct.
And you have a mother of the girlfriend who changes her story multiple times and has a 63-page history of cops coming to her home, which also includes a story of a woman getting beaten and raped. And you have a neighbor 2 doors down who happened to have her power bill and Lululemon and other purchases and attempted lines of credit all established using your son's information.
So they weren't able to determine that she's the one that attempted to open the line of credit.
Right.
That's what the detective is circling back to.
I'm sorry, I used the wrong language.
That's okay.
It's like these things were linked to her.
That's correct.
But they can't prove that it originates from her, just as she was a beneficiary from someone who happened to have access to your son's personal information for the use and purpose of establishing lines of credit, paying her power, and paying for packages that were sent to her home.
That's correct. Paying her internet bill.
So, in your opinion, would the mom, the one that found them, quote unquote, deceased in a home, in your opinion, would she have something to gain by these 2 young people being offed, or
the money for their kids, their death benefits?
Yeah, they are police officers. They are required, I believe, to fill out some type of life insurance benefits. Yeah, it just, but and
it's a shame because we can't go in too much further because our time is growing near, but we're going to have you back. This is going to be a series of 3 because it's just no way we can cover this in one episode, and we're going to be covering this story in the Chronicle newspaper and on the website. So these will be running concurrently. But before we leave, just give me a brief overview. Was there something going on within the police department? Was there some extra? Well, they weren't married, so they're not extramarital affairs. But was there some infidelity? Would that be infidelity if you're not married? If you're some cheating? Was there something going on between the couple and someone is stepping outside of the relationship unknown?
Yeah, so they both had history of infidelity. My son had been caught cheating, and
was it cheating with other members of the community, or was it, who were they cheating with? That
I don't know who my son had an affair with. I don't think she was another police officer. I just think she was like a friend or some random gal. He had been caught. He admitted to it. That was the only instance that I knew of him cheating.
But the young lady,
she was also cheating. So when they passed, she was in a relationship with another Detroit police officer.
Oh,
a young lady.
So your son's girlfriend was in a relationship with a woman and cheating with your son, or flip?
I have no idea. According to the young lady, she had been in a relationship with Maria since October of the year prior.
Wow.
When I spoke with my son on the Friday before, he had told me that they were broken up, and that at that point she was really just coming to and from the house to drop off and pick up baby. He worked day shift and she worked night shift.
Okay, so it was more of the routine thing. So to find this to happen just was not routine, of course. But Donnie, we want to thank you for joining us and trusting us with your story. I mean, it's just so much. But we're going to have you back. And thank you, Span, and everyone who's listening. We know this is a little bit heavier than most of our episodes, but me as a journalist and as a news show host, it is my job to report and be a voice of the community. because community knows what community needs. We're going to sign out, and we're going to see you again next week. Thank you. This is Janice Jackson from Stacks 92.1 FM. Make it a great week.
You know,
do you want to see the video of the flag down? Can I just show it to you?
I want to see it, but I gotta say,